Yo, you got a mic. What's going on, guys? Back here with another banger video. And in today's video, I'm going to be making my first ever Harry Potter video. And in today's video, as you know from the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 most powerful wizards and witches in the Harry Potter franchise, including the Fantastic Beasts movies. So I really should have just called it the Wizarding World franchise. But yeah, before we get into the rankings, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss one of my fire uploads. With all that yapping out of the way, let's get right into the rankings. In the number 10 spot, I have Bellatrix Lestrange. She's a loyal Death Eater who can use all 3 of the unforgivable curses, and her fighting style is very ruthless, and she seems to actually enjoy pain inflicted on her, which makes her a real wild card when she's in a fight. But ahead of her is Professor McGonagall, and this is simply because McGonagall was able to take on multiple Death Eaters in the Battle of Hogwarts in the Deathly Hallows movies, and also Bellatrix was defeated by the Weasley's mom, who has absolutely no dual feats, and yet she just disintegrated Bellatrix into nothingness, and I know for a fact McGonagall is not letting that happen to her, so that's why I have McGonagall at number 9 above Bellatrix. Another Hogwarts professor comes in at number 8, Professor Snape. So we actually did see shortly that Snape and McGonagall had a little duel, and Snape ended up retreating. So some fans might believe that, McGonagall basically beat Snape, so she should be ahead of him. But we have to remember that Snape was being a double agent, so was holding back against McGonagall because he didn't really want to defeat her. And also, we know that Snape can use the dark arts, and he is the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, which immediately makes him more qualified to teach about dueling than McGonagall. And yeah, he has more range with his spells, and he overall is just better with magic. So Snape comes in at number 8. Now, for number 7, I decided to combine 4 characters into one because they're all basically the same power level, and we don't know much about them, so we can't really scale who's over who. And that is the 4 co-founders of Hogwarts: Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Gryffindor. So these 4 all co-founded Hogwarts because they were the strongest wizards and witches of the time. But we don't know who was strongest out of who. I'm guessing Gryffindor was the strongest, and Hufflepuff was the weakest, then Slytherin the second, Ravenclaw in third. But I'm not going to rank them. I'm just going to combine them all into the 7th spot because they all basically serve the same purpose, and we never get any lore that much about them. We know they created the Horcruxes, but there's nothing that gives away who was truly the strongest out of all of them. But if I had to guess, it would definitely be Gryffindor because his item literally is used to destroy other Horcruxes. So yeah, if you want to make your own rankings, comment down below, but that's my spot for number 7. At number 6, I have Aurelius Dumbledore, aka Credence Barebone, who is an Obscuril. When Credence wants, he can turn into a massive monster that just tears through anything in his path, but it can be countered by a simple shield spell. I forget the name of it, but one of the Aurors used this in the second Fantastic Beasts movie, and Credence in his Obscuril form could not do anything to touch him. But Credence's durability is absolutely insane. It took countless number of Aurors all blasting him at the same time to not even destroy him, because it turned out he was alive after he got incinerated by like 30 Aurors all at once. He survives that, and then Grindelwald wants Credence to kill Dumbledore. Now, you may say Grindelwald only wanted him to do that because of the Blood Pact and Grindelwald's going to attack Dumbledore, but this also meant that Grindelwald believed wholeheartedly that Credence could have taken down Dumbledore. Obviously, in Credence and Dumbledore's fight, it was completely one-sided, and Dumbledore sunned him and was really like, my boy, you're a noob. So that kind of put Credence in his place, but just on Credence's destructive capability and his durability and the fact that Grindelwald believed he could defeat Dumbledore puts him at number 6 on the list. Speaking of Grindelwald, he's coming in at our number 5 spot. And we of course know that Grindelwald is not stronger than Dumbledore because he was literally defeated in their duel. And the only other character some people may think of is Voldemort. And it's pretty obvious how that turned out. Yes, Grindelwald had been locked up for years and didn't have a wand. But if we're going to base Voldemort and Grindelwald's power off of how well they fought against Dumbledore, we have Dumbledore beating Grindelwald, not even with max difficulty. They had a single clash, and then Grindelwald kind of gave up. And then you have a much older Dumbledore, who was leagues above his younger counterpart, was throwing hands with Voldemort, and they were doing fire and water spells and clashing here and there. Their duel was much closer in skill than Grindelwald's. So, simply, that's why he's below Voldemort. And then, coming in at number 4, we have Voldemort. This dude was basically immortal until all the Horcruxes were destroyed. And if he really wanted to, he could have been immortal if he basically just made a particle of sand a Horcrux and then threw it in the ocean. Oh, look at that. Voldemort can't die now. He could have done that, but likely he didn't want to be completely and utterly immortal because that's just, like, pretty sad and depressing. So, if I were to rank this on who has the most potential to be the strongest, it would definitely be Voldemort because that's just the most broken thing of all time. But, yeah, he can use all of the unforgivable curses, and he loved to use Avada Kedavra. He was spamming that during the series. He also had possession of the Elder Wand, which wasn't as powerful as you would think because he wasn't the rightful owner of it. Then again, if he learned about that, he could have killed Draco and then had the Elder Wand for himself, and we don't even know how powerful he would be with that. But now I'm just kind of making what-if scenarios for Voldemort. But we have to take his base power on how he did against the rest of them. And he did basically tie with Dumbledore at his strongest. But come on, we all really know that Dumbledore's strongest. He's just known in the verse as the strongest wizard. And Voldemort only attacked Hogwarts after he knew Dumbledore was dead and gone. There's a reason for that. So yeah, Voldemort's coming in at number 4. And the GOAT, Dumbledore, is coming in at number 3. So right now you may be questioning, who the heck is in 1 or 2? Spoiler, it's not Harry. Harry doesn't even crack the top 10 in his own franchise. That's pretty sad. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about Dumbledore. He's just the undisputed GOAT of his time. But then the top 2 simply aren't in Dumbledore's time. They were before Dumbledore's time, and they are just the undisputed GOATs ever, which is Morgan Le Fay and Merlin. Now, these two were rivals back in the day, and it was just known that Merlin was the greatest wizard, just like everyone knows. Even people not in the verse know that Merlin's the best wizard. He's just most iconic ever. And they would always use the curse word of like, oh, by Merlin's beard or whatever. And then Morgan Le Fay was mentioned once in the first Harry Potter movie when Ron was having his chocolate frogs. The marketing was like Morgan Le Fay's, but in the lore, Morgan Le Fay was Merlin's rival. But since Merlin was the GOAT of wizarding, he clearly was stronger than Morgan, and Morgan was a dark wizard, so if she was better than Merlin, she would have taken over the world, and that would be a thing, which wasn't. So yeah, this is my list. I'll run through it once again, bottom to top. Bellatrix at 10, McGonagall at 9, Snape at 8, Hogwarts co-founders at 7, Credence at 6, Grindelwald at 5, Voldemort at 4, Dumbledore at 3, Morgan Le Fay at 2, and finally Merlin at the 1 spot. I hope you guys enjoy this ranking video. If I got any wrong, comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss one of my fire uploads. I will see you guys in the next one.